EFF leader Julius Malema earlier raising the issue of gender-based violence at those JSC interviews. He asked a candidate if a special court should be established to deal with such crimes. For more on this, we're joined by legal analyst Advocate Romeo Nthambeleni. Advocate Nthambeleni, good evening to you. Thanks for your time. This is a conversation that comes up regularly, especially when we're dealing with matters of gender-based violence. The criminal justice system, including the process of going through the courts, is seen as very aggressive and really quite abusive on victims and survivors of gender-based violence.
Yes, good evening, Kathy, to you and the viewers and the listeners alike. I completely agree with you. I think it has been said not more than once that there is a serious problem of gender-based violence in South Africa, and the statistics can actually show. So what is important now is that issue of the sexual offences court across all courts in South Africa and the country, in order for the prosecution of those sexual offences to be dealt with by the specific courts with judges and prosecutors that are specifically trained to actually deal with the sexual offences.
How difficult is it to bring on board a system that includes just courts for sexual offense crimes? Because, again, we know what the impact of having more successful prosecutions would have, even just on something as basic as the reporting of these crimes in a country like South Africa.
Yeah, Kathy, you're absolutely right. Look, it doesn't start, by the way, at the courts. Courts work on evidence, and in sexual offences crime, you need solid evidence. And if you and me can just visit our nearest police stations and check if ever there are kids that are actually equipped with the kids to actually assist, women who are actually faced in that situation, you'll find that there's none. So it means that the capacitation must start with the police, so that when the police are properly capacitated and trained, by the way, to handle sexual offences crime, then there will be evidence with credibility that can be taken to sexual offences courts, that will be able to prosecute these perpetrators. And then when we have that, then we can start saying that we are going somewhere in this country, because it is indeed a problematic problem that we are facing in the entire society as a country. And this reporting case discourages the women to actually report this crime.
Part of the criticism, of course, that also comes up is against presiding officers when court is in session, and the level of consciousness that needs to be raised there around the impact of sexual crimes and the nature of questioning, and in some instances even the kind of questions that they allow those who are testifying, and again in particular victims and survivors, the kind of questions that they're subjected to in court.
Yeah, no, Kathy, you're quite correct. I remember, Judge Mandela Makaula was once taken to task of protecting a witness, in the Omotoso matter, and he was just trying to do the job to try and actually alert everyone to the sensitivity of the matter. And he was criticized, and it was stated that it's not actually his job to actually do that. His job is actually to listen to the evidence and not take sides. So the moment the judges start to be seen to be leaning towards the victim, obviously there's going to be general criticism that we are actually having. So in order for us to actually address that, we need to have proper evidence, solid evidence, and then when that solid evidence is brought before court, that evidence alone will be able to convict the perpetrator, without any other thing that will be brought. So I think that is key, and that is what is important.
Certainly a conversation that those within the system need to continue having in terms of the role they can play in making access to justice so much greater for the thousands of victims in this country. Advocate Romeo Nthambeleni, will leave it there for tonight.